so daba. Mami fio wano me urafe. Mama fo wo no feyo. Mami you when what for you. I'm a fair you go. You come on down at the moment. Oh yeah, maybe yeah. Oh yeah, my chrono. Oh, now me a yo. Oh, in the way, you better in the frame, you better come on, you better come on. Oh, what's up? Who said so more? In the way, you better in the frame, you better come on, you better come on, yeah. What's up?
Komopano and one tea ena yewoha. It's a beautiful Saturday night right here on Fila FM 89.3. And of course, if it is Saturday night like this, I know you know what we are up to, right? Or what we are here for. It is all about your love, about your relationships. And we are here to talk about your relationships to make it look sweet, and then keep the passion in your relationship alive. So for the past weeks we've been looking at the expectations and realities of modern love and relationships. We looked at the male perspective. Last week, the females were here and we looked at the female perspective. So today, we're putting them together. Now, when we say it will be fire, yeah, the man on kwa by ombeka omobrofo ekoi. A man on kwa e by ebeka omobrofo ekoi. And ne we are looking at both perspectives. So navigating modern love and relationships can be complex and then a daunting task as well. So we want to draw the line between expectations and realities. We'll know where to draw the line between expectations and realities. So today my guests are seated. Okay, they will be delving deeper into it, and we bringing together the diverse female and then male perspective, and that is what we'll be discussing tonight. That is navigating modern love and relationships, a balanced perspective. A balanced perspective. That's what we will be looking at. So, if you listened 2 weeks ago, and also today, that's what that was last week. Today, we bring in both the man and the woman. We've brought them together so that we can get the balanced perspective. So, with me in the studio tonight, I have Leatrice Kwale Richardson. She is a counselor, business, and then a life coach as well. And then I have Rashid Suleiman Akawawa, a tutor, researcher, entrepreneur, and also a business coach. And I want to say a very big thanks to Titus, who has been sitting in for me for the past 2 weeks. Trust me, I appreciate you a lot for sitting in for me. And today we're going to be continuing with our discussion tonight. and we're going to be discussing, continuing with our discussion tonight. So just tune in. I'll be right back shortly to welcome our guest, and then we will kickstart. Okay, it's 34 minutes past 8 o'clock. My name is Akusia Kwatama Buache, but I would want to send some shout out to Janet Jane Art Village, home of creativity. So if you want to print some t-shirts, embroidery, customize marks, customize key holders, the place to be is Janet Jane Art Village, home of creativity. We also do customized pen, customized handkerchief, customized jersey, picture framing, labels, 3D epoxy, signboard, pencil portrait, painting, and also water foundation. Janet Jane Art Village is located near Dungu Primary School, UDS, Tamale Campus. You may call 055 700 3960 or 050 511 7269, and you can have a chat with Janet Jane Art Village if you need any of their services. They would be of help to you. So thanks so much, Janet Jane, for our beautiful flyer as well. So now let me welcome Na and also Kawawa. Hey, who know about this one?
Yeah.
Yo, thank you.
If I say any bracket.
Yeah, Drew.
And na chorus abem.
We've not even started yet.
And
I shall see.
na chorus abem.
Eh, just dey make kwa bi.
Asemo.
Ai.
India na chorus.
Just
Na abem no. Nti no Kawawa say mo nyina mo answer no in a chorus manner. Yo. So Kawawa ena na Mr. Ne de manda from Boko.
Meaning what? There's a historian here.
Last week, somebody proceed na bebre.
Said last week now. Make hammer and money. Yeah, he was crazy.
That's what happened, but it was the fact. It was you were balanced.
Okay.
After last week, we shouldn't have even come today.
No.
The balance came out
The
well.
balance did not come out well. It did not come out.
And then Thomas Asubawana.
Necessary. Say I was saying me duties no right.
Say the onugina me manai wa ha. It's in a way enye ibia.
Ana me so me prepare you ba say nanka host no ye be mo.
Gender na balance.
Na chese enka mo sisi e ma no.
Embo manga just me e sha say nya.
Me me my host vim ne buy.
And AKB has always been objective.
Unfortunately, no,
Titus. Maybe I will be a chair.
Emergency call that. It's also quite cranty.
Oh, so.
Yeah, Tina me by Nesanka. One it was sad, the Osha say another query. Or no one and Quebec was so, a year, but something came up that he had to rush to Accra. That's why I am here tonight. So, Kawawa, let me start with you because you started this topic. And ladies first.
I'm ladies first.
And Mona Mudi kai by become what brofo and Sana Manus become with the Anana Meboa. So I want you to give us a recap. Okay, just a recap of the male perspective that you discussed. That was last 2 weeks.
Make I be bonana.
Okay.
Good evening to our cherished listeners and to the good people of Tamale and to those who are also watching on Facebook and other social handles. So, and to my dear sweetheart, my baby lass, we are just from Magnolia. She's celebrating her 5th birthday. So I wish her once again a wonderful happy birthday. Kezia, I hope you are not sleeping. A wonderful birthday or your favorite born. She nearly entered the leap year that year. It was yesterday that we decided to celebrate today. So okay, I'm tired of it. We just went to Magnolia for the celebration and I just got home and came here. I think last week we talked a lot about the perspective of men, what we expect maybe in a relationship and in marriage. And we said that the man generally is an ego person, ego driven, or he's one person that always respects his ego. So in marriage and relationship, what men will always respect a lot will be what Ephesians said, I think 5 verse 22 to 33. What the Bible's perspective is: a woman be submissive to your husband, honor your husband, respect your husband, and so forth. And we said the Bible was not wrong to decide to use the word honor or respect before where the love comes in, because all things being equal before any marriage, and in about 90% of marriages, especially in this part of our world, the man is older than the woman. So if for nothing at all, mostly it's older. Yeah. That's what's about 90%, mostly older than the women. So if for nothing at all, let's put aside the marriage because of the age difference. It is the duty of a woman to respect the husband, or he becomes like a senior brother to you. If we are talking of a tripartite relationship whereby you see your husband as a sibling, as a loved one, and as a friend. So in that respect, we said that when that kind of respect is there and submissiveness, automatically the issue of love comes in. And people will always say, then why not the man also respecting the woman? The Bible was not also wrong if we go the biblical way. Respect and love is higher than respect. Because if you don't respect somebody, you cannot love the person.
Sure.
So if you will look at that aspect of the Bible representation or presentation, it has given even more responsibility to the man than even the woman. Because you are supposed to love and adore. There should be some kind of adoration within the love, your wife. And personally, as a man, I believe, because of the risky nature of even men, when you give them that respect, the issue of what we say, love comes out automatically. Because the man, as I say, is ego-driven. So we last week, as I've been reiterating always, we said, or we concluded that the issues of marriage or relationships or the problems are just two: money and issues of sex. And the man is one person too that in marriage or in any relationship, the issue of sex plays a very vital role for a man. So in a process whereby in a relationship you deny the man of sex and maybe other conjugal rights, it becomes a problem to the man and increase problems in the relationship. And generally, we concluded that a man should be richer than the wife, should be stronger than the wife, should be psychologically balanced than the wife, and should be economically empowered than the wife. Yes. If there is this, you get that kind of respect you need as a man, especially when you are able to provide in the house. That also comes with some kind of responsibilities. That comes with some kind of respect once you are able to meet some of the basic responsibilities of you as a man. And the bone of contention was men not supporting women in the house.
Okay.
And the general conclusion there was that sometimes you start what is for the woman, and the woman now sees it as a responsibility.
When they have the excuse, dear.
No. And a man called in and said that he has been panning fufu for the.
He called again last week.
He called that he has been panning fufu for, or is it the friend has been panning fufu for the wife, or is it so helping? So one day the friends visited. The fufu was not so much fufu that a one person cannot pan. And while the man was conversing with the husband,
if her physical state
was
okay,
let me land. Now while they were conversing with the man, the friends and the wife, the friend's wife, you just call the man that are you said they want to come and pound the fufu.
What did you want?
So
what did you want her to say?
But are we also forcing you that can't you go and pay the school fees? There are certain things that are the responsibility of him. You see, there's
so panning fufu is a woman's responsibility.
There's a division of labor in the house.
Panning fufu is a woman's responsibility.
No,
and yet then your husband panning fufu is a woman's responsibility.
No, it's a yeah. Kitchen there. Obianim said the kitchen is for the woman.
Sir?
That one I still hold it dear. The man goes in to support. Just as if me, you are a man and you tell me that the woman should pay school fees, I will have problems with you. There are certain responsibilities depending on the woman's biological makeup, psychological makeup. God himself have given that division.
Why did you
look? Let me tell you something. It's just of late that
no, I asked a simple question. You said God supports it. Where did you quotation away?
Say way.
So about tell me an kitchen.
Man, catch it. No. The department. What the department? Whether you like it or not, that department is for a woman.
Sir.
The cooking department. And the emotion say that department. It is now the duty of the man to support. The support. Just as I would not come and sit here and say it's the duty of the woman to also make sure that he keeps the house, pay the house bill, water bill. The woman was sitting in her place and you brought it. Catherine, that's the woman's department. Let us just, that one is non-negotiable.
No, in your department.
You come. Wait for me. So, generally, I think that was the way we concluded. Just that one is non-debatable. So we believe that there are certain rules generally that are for women, and certain rules that are for the men. When the woman decides to take such role, it means you, the man, should know that she's supporting you, and that is not her responsibility. In the in the areas that the man also comes in to support you, you shouldn't now make it an obligation on the man. It's a supportive kind of relationship, and that kind of symbiotic kind of relationship should be also seen within the domestic choice and the rest. AKB, you see, there are certain things, as I said, even with the biological makeup of the man, he or she cannot do it, and that of the woman, she cannot also do that work. So that works, that issues are cut off. So in short, I think my memory set me right. Now it's trying to disorganize. These are some of the things generally we recap, and we gave some, we gave some differences between a man, and this is factual and has been researched. So remember.
You said you gave what differences?
I quoted it very well
You
last
said
week.
you gave differences of what?
between a man and a woman when it comes to, because of our
Okay.
psychological makeup.
So,
and
so,
those
so
things.
before
now,
Na even comes in Kawa,
Yeah.
we are looking at modern love
yes,
and relationships, and then you are still maintaining that we don't deny the fact that yes, because traditionally, okay, the kitchen traditionally we say it's for the women, right?
Yeah.
But supporting the woman, I don't know why, because most men, that has been their excuse not to help in the house, because they feel say, oh, hey, that's oh, if I help, then you leave everything on me. The point is that, like now I was saying, when you are growing up, whatever goes on in the kitchen, the women do that. But when it comes to the pounding of the fufu, any woman money from them.
yes, AKB.
Can't
It's all,
be
let
AKB.
me say, most of it depends on the culture. In Dagbang or northern culture,
Okay.
those things were not common. If you talk of here, if you talk of southern culture, yes. When it comes to northern culture, and AKB, as a historian, let me go back to history. You see, some of these issues that we are conflicting it with modern, you see that most references about world events usually they tie it to the Second World War. Until the Second World War, some of the issues that we are talking today were not issues of debate.
Yeah.
At that time, women were cut off for certain responsibility.
Yeah.
But after the war or during the war, because most men went into the war and died, out of the 22 million people
Yeah.
who died,
Yeah.
most of them, about 80%, were men. And these were men who were breadwinners of their families. And so when it happened, women now took up some responsibilities that were that of men.
Okay.
And that complicated the whole issue
Hey.
of marriage. And marriage became a different ball game altogether. But we don't have anything like AKB modern marriage.
Okay.
It's career that has created all these issues. Because now women are working. Gone were the days that the woman was expecting everything from the man.
Yeah.
And in some cultures, women were not supposed to work. Look at in Islam. I'll come to that. We have what we call
as a woman, even if you don't work, cry. Right? This will be no good.
the problem. Will even the men will not come. That's why I said the men will not even come for you. Now, women want women who are responsible, can also bring some small thing or something to the table. So this is where the issue of the modernity can, when we are talking of the career, because now jobs that or what the careers that women were not even involved traditionally, now women are involved in mining, geological mining. Those days, geological survey or what, those courses were alien to women. Women in football, very alien. Women in boxing, very alien. And up to date, me, I don't watch those kind of women in boxing, because
So
I
you're a
think
traditional
biologically,
man. You're
I'm
not a modern man.
I'm a modern man.
Massa.
But I think
You have
women
grey
are
hair.
not cut off for that pain. Women are specially made, so there are certain pain you shouldn't go through and add it to
as
the
a
pain
woman.
of labor.
No,
And
that's
research
not-
has shown that some of themselves, when they get involved seriously into like bodybuilding and those things, it has an impact on their biological makeup. Some of them don't give birth, so it tells you clearly that biological that area is not cut off for women. And some of these chemical areas, we know the impact on women and deformities
During
when it's during childbirth.
yeah.
So biologically, it tells you that you are not cut off for such areas. So there are certain areas that I think are not debatable. But let us put it that domestically is division of labor, just as even those days when we are going to farm, there are certain roles that is the man who was engaged on the land, tilling the land, plowing and other things. You see that the women become involved when they are doing the planting, then sometimes harvesting. So that division of labor in marriage and relationship, we should respect it. It's not an issue of crossing barriers or not having respect for each other. When we understand that this is clearly for women and this is clearly for a man, when I come in, it means I'm coming to support you because of certain issues. And when I come to support, you shouldn't make it my responsibility. It's just also like I'm hard up. Then the woman goes to pay maybe the children fee or takes the responsibility of the house, or maybe one man to be because of challenges in the house. Then now I'm okay. I've gone back to my real life situation. Then now I'm still insisting on the woman that when you started it, did you die? When you started it, did you die? Or when you pay it, what happened? No, it's not. It's unheard of. So generally, we should understand that the woman is a woman and the man is a man.
The woman is a woman and
Yes,
the man is
it's
a
a
man.
man.
Finish
Yes.
more. So I think that
We are not reacting to what he said
Oh, no, I'm
for
not.
now. I want you to give us a recap of what you people discussed last week.
Okay, so
After
last
that, we'll come into the nitty gritties.
So a very good evening to our cherished listeners. So last week we walked through the facets of the evolution that has taken place with us women, from an era where, like Kawa rightly said, where roles were clearly disseminated. We knew what women could do, what women couldn't do. Then over time, I'm referencing what he used, the World War II.
Yeah.
So what happened was, within those eras, the men left. Even women had to join the army to provide support in terms of the war. And prior to the war, there had been that fight for the right to even vote. You get it? So women, there was an awakening to what we could do, what we couldn't do, our roles, our responsibilities. More like we were fighting to exist. We had to, make sure that we were recognized, because subjugation had gone on for so long. Now, when we keep having this conversation of traditional is subject to humans' interpretation, not nature's interpretation.
Yeah.
You get it? Because when creation works its role, the role of men is clear. The role of women is clear. But then humans now decide that, apart from what creation is saying, because creation never determines who tilled the land. Creation determined that the land needed to be taken care of. So it's man that decided that, okay, I will do this, I will do that. If we shift it into the biblical context, the biblical context will now say that God gave a role to a man, gave another role to a woman. But it was definite in terms of who does what, who doesn't do what, and all those things. So when all these things came into perspective, it kind of created a cycle that brought in conformity. But over time, because that's the beauty of life, we evolved. And I gave a practical example. I said before, yes, I was trying to, some rodents went into my kitchen and we wanted to fumigate from time to time because of our production. So I got fed up. I can't sleep when I hear any sound. So I got fed up. Serious, even one mosquito. You see me frowning, sitting up on the bed. I'm angry. There's a mosquito in my room. Seriously. Just that wheel that went around my ear. And one hey, what happened? You see me on the bed looking for either mosquito coil or spray, even housefly. When I hear one, so everybody knows when you come to my house, I'm looking at how you handle my gates. Who Gina gate 5 seconds? I'll start shouting, my door, and I'll just the way I was screaming, you would think that exactly. Now, what happened with those faces was that man took a decision. Okay, God says I should do this, should do this. So now the role became more specific.
Okay.
You get it? Now, throughout that evolution, World War II gave us the chance to show that, I've been observing this for a while. Women were not even allowed to read. So, enlightenment, exposition, experience, a quest, and the innate desires where mothers got to a point where what I can't do, I would want my child to try.
Okay.
What my child couldn't do, I would want this to also try. So we started, bit by bit. Then when you people went to war, went and kill yourself.
Hey.
Yes.
Edrusa.
Did the women start the war? Meanwhile, funny enough, every time they're accusing us that we are responsible for
Most of
chaos.
the wars in the war, they revolve around women.
Master,
The one of the naughtiest war, Helen
Please,
of Troy.
please.
They want to go ahead and read the hell.
Stop reading. You can't even
The
bring.
Troy.
You can't even bring Athena here. Please, let's not even go there. Greek mythology can't even come into this place. We are speaking when Hitler was going for fire. Did he think about bottles? No. It was one man to the other. So you can't even mix us up with your battles. So when all these things, women became security officers, doctors, medical aides, and all those things. Then the men came back and thought that they are back, so they are coming to take charge. Like for the way. Thank you. So suddenly, you've gone away for so long. We filled the vacuum. We proved that we were capable of handling ourselves. And that's where, like he said, there was a redefinition for the woman, where we did not allow society to dictate our limitations anymore. All we did was we could go here, we could go there.
Okay.
Now let's relate it in the traditional settings. We came to attest the fact that the whole exposure brought about a collection of women
Okay.
who had gone through certain experiences. So Beijing met us on a bad note. Met us on a bad note because then when we were trying to have the conversation on equal opportunities, it was received by bitter women. I always tell people that the one that brought Beijing stayed with the husband till he died. You yes, you did not go and bring Beijing, that you became supporter of Beijing. You are walking around single chanting extremism. So we went through different waves to get to the point miserably where we are now, because we are at that point where the modern woman, and I'll use modern, which Kawa is refusing to understand, is that we have evolved. You get it? There's been technology.
Yeah.
You could say maybe the new generation, but in easier, relatable context, we would definitely use the modern world, where there's no link to our histories for us to have a better appreciation on how we have evolved to get to this point, the impacts we are making, the benefits we've brought to society, such that we should be better than our mothers. But evolution has more like done a disservice to us, because then we've evolved in another way. We'll say we've evolved in the negative, because then we took the whole exposition, my rights, my choice. In fact, the fifth wave feminism is a whole package on this. Like, what if you call now, because then recently we were having a conversation on body counts. When I went to war, I'm like, oh, ferry. Now people will go on TikTok and brag. I've been with, do you know how many men I've been with? As if like, so that traditional outlook, that gave a woman that sense of dignity, that sense of self-respect, that sense of societal recognition of value is no more there. Even though the evolution is supposed to be to our benefits, because now there's a highlight on, let's say, what men didn't know was affecting us. There's an awakening of its effects on us. We did a session recently, and I told somebody that awareness is a tool. Awareness is two ways. It's either a tool or a weapon. How you get aware determines whether it will bring about productivity or it will bring about distraction. So the question is, who's creating the awareness? Has the conversation had? And you the one collecting too? Are you just one container? Obiaba, go, then they pour it into it. Then we also talked about the stance on marriage and how the crop of generations perspective of marriage has been subject to what the men have thrown to the women. in the era where traveling outside became easy, German burger, Italian burger, that era saw the beginning of single parenthood in Ghana.
Okay.
Because then, oba, no one yin say, kwala mienu, no ayera. You see your husband again after what 10 years. Even now they are able to come back early. See the abrochira bontin sunsem. Akwentu munsem baby. Somebody just gave birth to one child and disappeared. Was not part of the child's life. Showed up 18 years later. And you are supposed to understand and embrace. So over time, women got used to filling in the positions where the men were filling. So if before it was the muscle that was helping me lift, I've gotten used to dividing it into pieces and lifting my things small. So what is your use in my life? Now this person will now teach the daughter the same process that she has used to survive. So the daughter did not get the choice of deciding whether this experience is worth having or this experience is not worth having. So we've gone through a process where we are experiencing things that we don't even understand. That's what the modern girl or the modern young woman has gone through. And their defects in terms of behavioral patterns is a reflection also of what the men are given. Okay. Because now the men have equally evolved to a point where they don't know what it means to be a man anymore. Like, I did a piece on manhood, and I said, how many of you can describe yourself without money? Somebody, a man came out to ask me, who is a man without money? I said, look at you. So your definition of manhood is subject to material possession. But when we're growing up, men, they don't have mansions, but they commanded respect that could not be challenged. Meaning that just as we have had a broken link, they equally have had a broken link. What men fail to realize with the balances that we are trying to address now is that no matter how successful a woman is, she depends on a man's approval for what she. It has nothing to do with feminism, subjugation. No, that is us, because we were created to respond to a certain sense of nod. So when a woman excels and has the men, celebrating her, she feels more emboldened, empowered. Look at daughters and their fathers. That's a practical example. By the time they start growing breasts, you, the mother, it's like you don't exist in the house. Those who have had teenage daughters, you know what I'm talking about. Like, as a crowd here, if you are menstruating, she's menstruating. If you have breasts, she has breasts. So the only thing that humbles her and gets her in check is the father's presence and consistency in her life. So if I have grown up not understanding the value of a man in my life, my definition of value for a man is subject to my negative experience. So we have a lot of young, and currently, if you pick 100 young persons between 10 and 25, or you let me stretch it up to 30, 95% don't know what fatherhood is. They've not experienced it. So if I'm a young woman and I've not experienced, I grew up not knowing what a masculine influence is. I grew up not knowing what it means to receive respect from a man enough to humble me. I grew up not knowing what is love. I am not going to come to you with that expectation. My definition for love becomes something else. So, security. I was trying to explain security the other time. The person told me it's grammar I'm speaking. Now, what is security more than money? And I told the person that it is because you don't even know what security is. But the funny thing is, and I keep telling my young friends, I said, you see what you think you don't need now, wait till you are 40 years. You go see Pepe. You need to, everything that God has put in place for us to require to survive. Don't think that a deficit of it at a certain point in life has no repercussions in the long-term future. So I was telling them that you are feeling an emptiness. And that's what's happening with our young girls now. They are feeling an emptiness. They are feeling like it's like something is missing. I'm looking for something from a man. I'm not getting it. And as they are not getting it, they don't even know what it is, because who is there to explain to them? Yeah. They didn't experience it whilst growing. So it's like, okay, it's money. For some, it's sex. For others, it's different, and it's always in the negative because it's fun, it's exciting, and even as temporary as it is, it brings them some form of relief. So the modern woman has evolved to that point where the exposure is supposed to bring her more good, but it's bringing her more harm, and it's putting us at risk of family safety. Imagine a young person. I've seen that they are giving appointments all over. So imagine a young man, oh yes, or a young woman that has never experienced the sanctity of a home, of having two parents heading, two parents advising, two parents guiding, becoming a policy maker on family values. You see how skewed their thinking has been their whole life. And what people fail to understand is, you see, you can never use grammar to feel this one. Because a child that grows up in a double home, even if the man was absent, the presence of that figure has a different impact on their thinking. The presence of that figure has a different impact on their behaviors. So we have had more young ladies not having security from a man, not having stability from a man, not having that support system that enables their level of confidence in themselves from a man. They have not had love from a man. So then their perception of these four things is distorted. So she feels like if he has money, that is love. I mean, how do you say you love me and you're not buying me anything? So can't a poor man find a woman? I don't know if you understand her. But you see, you also can't blame them. It's like you told the young girl that condoms will prevent her from getting pregnant, but you didn't teach her that there's dignity in being a virgin and getting married. So suddenly you rendered what will give her honor, useless. Then you finish and now come and accuse her that she's promiscuous. Like, what are you accusing her of? Because there is no chain continuing. The chain that is continuing now is more on our personal achievements. So career and all those things. But when it comes to home management, so young girls are finding it more appealing to be single parents than they are finding it in protecting the sanctity of their home. Where they don't see that both of us have a role to play. Where they don't see marriage as a partnership. So they go in as an independent person. If it's not serving my purpose, after all, what are you going to need? You even have some where they voluntarily, somebody comes and tell you it's not by force to make babies. Nobody is forcing you. But don't go around rendering, continuing a cycle that is non-existent. Immediately, if I have my money, I make one child, 2 kids from the same. I mean, I don't want my children to be all over. I mean, I have my... No. So suddenly, it's becoming a normalized pattern where we think that not having fathers is okay. The one thing COVID did for America was an awakening on the effect of single parenthood. So if you go online now, a lot of the American speakers are fighting this system. They are like now addressing mental health issues for men and how, that generational cycle, demonic or devilish or negative pattern where men think it's okay to have babies all over the place. They are not responsible. Where girls are, they are not even addressing the women because they realize that if the man is home, it has an impact on, because the men that were home during COVID, it was their children that were saved from the effects, that were happening. I remember when the routes from the department stores were coming, they were counting the number of black cats that died. And it was crazy. And it's all because there was no masculine chaperone at home. So then the modern woman, as much as she has veered from, it's a direct correlation of the failures, of the traditional man. So you have the traditional man who didn't do his job in 2 ways. One, he failed to raise his replica in the modern man, and then failed to serve as a better guide to the modern woman. So you now have a woman that should be better and perfected with evolution, but it's in deficit. That's how we end it. Right. I'm not speaking for Kawawa. The way he's quiet like that.
Hey, Tanya, Nanka born attack and me choco you person also born
There
attack.
be a movie. And who for nas and net.
So Kawawa.
So
Any reaction of whatever she has said?
I think at a point we're all on the same frequency.
Okay.
Because AKB, you see, the world didn't only do a disservice to women or give them some kind of advantage which they were already fighting for. But that changed the chemistry of the male gender. Because as he said, most of the married men are also confused.
Okay.
Because either the man was not there to also train them in the masculine way of taking care of the house.
Thank you.
And you see that single motherhood that she's talking of is also affecting the male child.
Yes.
And even in trying to correct that thing, is even disadvantaging the male child again.
Master, we are not
Okay, the last week I was just in school.
empowerment, yeah.
I nearly went for the male guys.
Look at this man.
Comfort came to Ghana school.
Yeah.
And she has also been coming there. Okay, when they get they are thinking of the females. As if the male boy is not. Now it's a serious disadvantage to
Can you imagine?
trying
To be a
the
male.
gender to be a male.
And
You see that
he's still running away
if you
from
see the needle,
accountability.
if you see the needle, so needle to be my first na a sanitary pad. Yeah, we understood it. Needle, palm needle, biscuit
Yes,
mu
it's a
biscuit,
man.
masset mu masset. Calculator mu calculator, books mu. Only women were chained and they were going with their rubber band. The way the boys were looking at them,
No,
I was
oh
even.
my, mama.
Yeah, because
Oh my,
No, because
so
you
now
think
you are
the two
telling
of
the
us-
boys that what should they do?
What should they do like
So we and the most what do we call it? I
No,
want
we
that
bank
word.
on the fact that
Uh-huh.
our
So now you are trying to even empower the woman more than the man.
We are
And
not
that is
doing
that
that.
comes with that issue of we don't know even the role of a woman and a man now in the house,
Hey.
which we are trying to debate on it. Okay, but let me tell you this before I can come to my. You see, I still stand on the fact that the man and woman are not the same.
we are never the same.
We shouldn't talk of gender equality. We should talk of gender equity. So Benjamin should have been talking of equity, and not equality. We can never be equal.
Language is dynamic.
It's not dynamic.
My language-
Equality was equality that would be, and that even confused
It
the
didn't confuse
marital
anybody.
environment
Oh,
after
no,
Benjamin.
Never.
I tell you, the first 5 years of Beijing, if you go and do the research about divorce, it was so high because women were now fighting their right shoulder to shoulder with men.
No,
And
but
at a point, the women even became their own enemies. You can now take your husband to court, and it can be waju. Those days it was waju.
Waju.
There were some incidents whereby the waju women who were even fighting for the women took up their husbands. Finally, because they'll be
You
pushing
can't
you
even-
for your rights,
you see,
and traditionally they know what they're about. So, let us-
I know of a lawyer who
After the
represented
case, yeah.
one of the parties for divorce.
Divorce,
The man,
and after that went and married the man.
yeah, he
Yes.
married the man. Yeah.
So open Benjina, that's what's happened.
no,
Okay,
no,
but
you
that
see,
one is-
that's an unfair argument, AKB. You see, I always say this, that we keep mixing the conversations all the time when it comes to this gender conversation, and I'm very passionate about it. Separate character flaws from the issues that were happening at the time of Beijing. The measure of abuse. You can't sit here and
What
tell
was
me
the
that.
abuse?
Oh, what are you
No,
talking
just talk about the abuse before Beijing. You see, AKB, when women are talking of abuse, and last week I spoke of it, or last 2 weeks, they speak of only physical abuse.
Mental and
AKB, the
emotional
highest
abuse.
form of abuse that women are abusing men, and they are going through and saying, me saying,
Mental.
are even higher than physical abuse.
It's never true.
Verbal abuse, mental abuse.
Which
These two.
which mental
that
abuse?
women are tormenting men in the house. And when you decide to
You
touch
see-
her, with some small slap. It's yours that AKB. She will insult your grandfather in the grave.
Slap,
no,
slap.
but no, I'm just,
Slap,
I'm just using paraphrasing things. When she is insulting you, then verbal abuse. AKB, let me tell you, there can never be there can never be a physical abuse when mental abuse or what do we call mental or what do we when verbal abuse. Before any physical abuse, AKB, I'm telling you, there has been a verbal abuse. There have been emotional abuse. I'm not justifying physical abuse. Those listening to me.
Forget physical
but
abuse.
What I'm trying to put in here that
what was the first data that came out in the early 208? They collected data on the number of suicides of women against men, the number of murder of women against men, the number of mental health cases of women against men. When interventions are introduced, they are database.
Most of the suicide cases were not in marriage. AKB, go and take suicide cases of women. It's in relationship, not marriage. Suicide cases, most of them are during relationships.
That's what does it change the gender?
It doesn't change, but I'm coming to the chemistry of marriage, and I'll speak a lot on that one. I know today. AKB, you see.
We are not talking feminism. We are talking.
You are reacting to what she said, though.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
so
about.
You're not landed so that.
So what I want to say that Beijing went to confuse, or women went to confuse the issue of marriage and relationship. Women empowerment, traditionally and culturally, has always been there. It's not, especially when you come to our African setting. And AKB. Look, marriage is a global phenomenon, but you have to deal with it locally. Okay. Every culture has the way it handles its marital issue. You cannot have a global definition for marriage.
No.
So until we understand that, and Beijing went to congregated the women and tried to give them the same philosophical thinking about marriage, which was wrong. So when the African women came, they were now trying to implement what the Europeans are doing, which doesn't work in our cultural setting.
It's 20
What doesn't work in our
now.
culture?
Yeah, right. Now we want we'll not get so now. I beg you briefly, no. You wanted to react to some of the things he mentioned, and then I said you go to.
Yes, so I wanted to react to his stance when he defines what traditional is. Now, like he said, culturally and then religiously, marriage has different structures. If you go to our fellow Muslim community, the man stands in front all the time. So it is rooted subconsciously that the man is the head. So like in any way they try to engage, in any way they try to be together or whatever, the man takes precedence. If you come to the Christian setting, we walk side by side.
But we even with the Christian setting, we still know that the man is the head.
Yes. But we walk side by side.
And I'm not cut. Even with the Islam, you see, we still confuse it with tradition.
How?
When it comes to the northern setting, the northern Islam, what do we call confuse Islam with tradition. That's why sometimes people condemn Islam, that they have no respect for women. But it's the issue that it's more traditional because Islam gives women a lot of roles to play. You know, in Islam, it's not the responsibility of the man to go to the woman to go to market and do shopping. It's the responsibility of the man. But today, let a Tamale, a Dagomba, a Gonja man hold back and enter Tamale market that he's doing shopping and buying tomatoes. So that one to culturally, we have confused culture with religion. Do be done. Do tramfo. Oh, Pama, Yakunyang, so I used to so that come on to say. But that's what the Islam is teaching. We have what Islam we call
Dubai,
and those
women don't go.
Women don't go. So you see that even in that set of religion, because in northern part we have amalgamated culture with religion. It's creating a problem for Islam.
Okay, you've made your point. Yento aso na afede.
You spoil my life, you do.
AKB, let me give you this. I want to use research. You know me when
Yeah.
these are global research. Most of them women were involved. The 5 unique needs of a woman and the 5 unique needs of a man. There's nowhere there's even an intersection.
Okay.
Of course,
And how
our
come-
physiological
so that's what-
nature does not give us.
So
that
you're not
energy.
coming to what I was saying. One, women need affection, but men need admiration. Women need conversation. Men need physical attractiveness. Women need honesty and openness. Men need recreation and companionship. Women need financial support. Men need sexual fulfillment. Sexual fulfillment. So then lastly, women need family commitment and men need domestic support. Some may sound synonymous.
The last one, you said women need what?
Family commitment, to be committed to the family, to the children. So at a point you will realize that the woman will even decouple herself from the man. She's just in the house because of the children. No wonder some of them are dying in marriage. That's the truth. That's their biological makeup.
And the men.
The men need domestic support. When even the marriage is not working, you should still be cooking. Or you should still be sweeping the room. So it's domestic support.
Talking about that, okay, and we've gone back to tradition. We're coming back to the modern. Because whether we like it or not, things are changing.
Yes.
You know, within the week, we were having a conversation in the office, and it was a bit of an argument that there's this woman who says she will not go to work in the morning, okay, come back home late in the evening and come and cook again for the man. So going further in this argument, realized that the man was kind of jobless and at home, and it's the woman who goes out there to go and work and then come back home. So it's like the roles have changed.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The roles have changed.
So
I was like, Sani Odika.
Thank you.
100%. I support the woman.
So the other party was saying, so what if the man was working? That I said, this what if doesn't come in because the man is not working.
Working.
So if the man was working, she wouldn't need to be working
it
12
would have
hours.
been a different scenario.
Exactly.
Yes.
She wouldn't need to work 12 hours.
So looking at our discussion, the realities, the expectations, and this scenario, what is your comment on that?
AKB, you see,
It's
modernity.
my turn, please.
No, let me just say before I
No,
forget.
no,
You said something
no,
and I want to support
no.
you. I want to. You
don't
talk
support
about modern.
Don't support me, Kawawa.
After that, you also
You
also
see what I told you?
If I forget that, it so go on.
yes, that you're over near Kegu nature.
Papa na kama so dey
Ọba
work.
na mi jina mi di radio na ba na mi te anka mo start ya na mi shede. Ina na mi pese mi di radio na ba yo. Mi na mi na mi kita mi radio. She me see me man na start topic we ja. Ene. I don't want.
You see,
I don't want to
okay,
come here to me. I say what happened.
A lot goes into the best formative character in running a home. Family system is not transactional, which is what we have come to now. Oh, I'm the wife. I'm doing this. You two, you have to do that. When we both have that understanding that the expectations, when it comes to the two of us, is strictly on the basis that, let's say, what home do we want? Anytime people call me for marital advice, I ask, what did you two plan together? Because then evolution has positioned us that our traditional definitions don't function anymore. The part where you have to keep your wife at home is a non-starter. The part where you come and start raising your shoulders, I'm a man, it's a non-starter. Before, our mothers treated pain as part of life.
Yeah.
Now we have a reality. Yeah. Science is telling us that pain is not part of life.
Because even the traditional, the women were being punished because imagine then the man the woman going to the farm. They all go to work together. They are coming back. The woman is carrying the baby on the back,
You're talking
carrying
plenty.
things, and the man holding cutlass and following.
You are talking plenty. I told someone that let women in northern Ghana go on strike. One of the reasons why ITFC lost their cashew farms and trees and mango trees was on the fact that when the women came, they came with women empowerment. So suddenly they were paying the women more. The economic value from the women before was on a barter basis. They work in exchange for produce. Then they will now, but now the same work that was now giving them produce, which will now be converted into cash, was quickly given out in terms as income. So these women became more empowered. Now that basic thought that if she doesn't see me, she can't eat was now disappearing with the farmers. So it felt more like I've lost my control. You get it? Rather than look at it from the angle of, oh, if she has this more, she'll be able to what? To support the house. If she has this more, she'll be able to help the family. There's a reality that we have now. We have the incomplete young woman and the incomplete young man. So these two merge together and they are busy feeding, they are not running back to tradition to look at what made the family sustained. You get it? It's like the young man wants the respect and honor of his father where he didn't have money because he has money. But it's not ready to do the work the father did. Fathers did not sit under summer hats to be men. They were home.
And drinking a tire.
You couldn't. Oh no, it's the truth. You see, you could not. You are standing at the gate, misbehave. Your mother tells you, you let your father come. That let your father come will send shivers down your spine. Because when he gets home, before he even talks to the child, no matter his fight with the wife, the children will never see their quarrel. But now we dramatize it. In fact, we video it for people to applaud us for our hard work. We think that our relations should be photographed at every point in time. And you see, those with the experience to even tell us what to do right. The moment as a man, you start telling yourself, that, oh, I have options. I'm telling you, you can never commit to any man. Because no matter the...
Any woman.
Yeah.
Because no matter the adventures of our grandfathers, they knew their job in the house. It is change that they use for chasing, not the money itself. But yeah, the money is outside. You come home with the change, and you want me, the modern woman, to hail you. Nana bo, nana bo, nana bo. So it becomes now transactional. Nana diskatuwa, no aba. Ofaskana tuwa, no aba. He's talking of sexual needs. The modern woman now treats, there's this thing I always tell my young girls. I said, your body is not a thank you object. Whenever I say this, it's like I'm kolo, I'm gone past. I said, you can't say thank you to someone without getting physical. Because then they have not been taught how to be, let's say, the etiquette of relationships and how to micromanage them. One of my mentors is a male. When I call this man, this is how it starts. Nah, hey, troublesome girl, how are you? I said, say, I'm fine. Is everything okay? Okay. Why did you call? No matter what we are discussing, it will never go past 30 minutes. There's nothing like, hey, I saw your post. You are looking pretty. There was a day I jokingly said, hey, my handsome mentor. And he was like, look at this girl. Madam will beat you.
Oi.
It ended it there. So the boundaries were so clear. The modern man thinks he has the luxury of an adventure and not understand that there's consequence. I told somebody that if it's not the problem, Adam is our problem. Because the first day Eve brought the apple, if he had just given her those glass, problem solved. We keep blaming Eve, forgetting that all she did was she was not part of creation. Which means that your existence, the woman is not there. But what she's going to experience is what? Is your leadership. Then you now come to the woman. Whenever they say, what do I bring to the table, we start this funny joke of, my body. Everybody has a body. You get it?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when
that
it comes
body,
to
no.
running a home, it is substance that runs the home. A lot of the time, we fail at running our homes because our girls don't know what running a home means. We think buying a blender is enough. We think getting all the luxury saucepans. I have a Ninja in my kitchen. I'm sorted with all the cutleries. I use an oven. I use this. I use that. But then the skills for survival, you don't. Because the young girl presumes that, circumstance don't happen. I was asking someone that going celibate doesn't mean you're a good Christian. I said, imagine your husband gets an accident and the doctor says for the next 1 year, he can't function as a man. You will go and be sleeping all around the place. They don't even realize that there's a preparation process for marriage. Even worse, our religious leaders have done us a great disservice. We never discuss family in church. We never discuss family at the mosque. We are busy telling us, how to get to heaven. Prosperity. What to do right with God. Forgetting that part of our job that God gave us is running our homes. So the easiest place, everybody believes religion is our sanctuary. When everything else fails, religion is our last option. So the last place we can go to for sanctity, they are not even doing anything.
Okay.
So the young girl will go through the mosque till the end and she's getting married. Nobody is telling her that. It's not everything that you go out and be telling anybody. Part of your job is to protect your home. Protecting your home is not just with money or something. Sometimes the things you say is a way of protection. That minute by minute wisdom that needs to be impacted does not exist anymore. Okay. And it has positioned the modern woman in an endangered zone because then if you pick the average young person, you can evaluate that by 10 years time their marriage will not last.
Okay.
And it's not safe for our children.
Will not last, and it isn't safe for our children as well. So thank you. 35 minutes past 9 o'clock. Hey, I said that time no papa. Okay, so if you are still doing the listening, I'm saying mama listeners now me not just say my how pa. So you can join us on 0372099141 or 0249535600. So Kawawa, quickly, let me get your reaction to the scenario I put across, then we move on quickly.
Okay, but the issue is not about, I've come to realize that the issue of marriage is no more about modernity or tradition. It's just that we are getting it wrong at the beginning. What do we look for in marriage? It's now more of infatuation than love. Yeah. So when the issue of modernity only comes in and those conflict in marriages, when that issue of companionship has been lost even at the beginning, people don't understand what is marriage. They just get up, and the fanciful nature of wedding is that brings us into marriage.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not cutting you, but let me pick this call. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sophia.
Is that also there?
Yeah, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. Right. All right. Also, welcome to our discussion. Let's hear you quickly.
That's well.
Please, reduce the volume of your set. We're getting feedback.
Okay. Thank you.
Still low. Whoa. Hello?
Yeah,
Okay,
hello.
all right. So quickly, let's hear you, please.
Yeah, I'm just and enjoy your conversation. Yeah, I'm benefiting a lot from it.
Okay.
Yeah, a great call for me.
All right, he's listening.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks very, very much. So that's Osoja, and Captain says a good
Soja.
Is there?
The person, that's not Osoja.
That's Osoja.
No.
Says good to see you, Kawawa, monitoring proceedings from my bunker. Interesting discussion in the studio. Good evening. to you all. So, Kawan Pachotazo.
So I was just driving the fact that the issue is just about the marriage department. Let me put it that way, where people are confusing what is marriage and even what they want in marriage. Because we don't even understand ourselves, not to talk of understanding our partners before we go into marriage.
Kawa, sorry.
So
sorry, why?
Hello? At this point, we understand our.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yeah,
Good evening to you. Good evening to you, Kawawa, and my sister in there.
Okay, please, your name.
Good evening to your cherished listenership. This Honorable Karmo calling from Banyamne.
Honorable Kambong.
Karmo.
Karmwao. Oh, okay, all right. Honorable, let's hear you, please.
Yes, I'm really enjoying your program.
Okay.
In fact, I started monitoring for a very long time. I think last week and this week, I just feel like also calling to let you know that we are really enjoying your program.
Okay.
But I have something to add with regards to how I started it. It is said that planning to fail, failing to plan is planning to plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Exactly.
Yes, this time around, you see most of young guys and ladies getting married without planning.
Okay.
Yes, and once planning is lacking in whatever, be it relationship, be it your work site, be it whatever, at the end of the day, you see it not succeeding. So it is high time before you get into relationship, before you get into marriage, you should plan as to how the relationship will go or how the marriage will go. But these days, you see people just, the fancy nature of it, people see somebody doing a wedding, he or she is also interested in in entering into a marriage. And at the end of the day, you see it not lasting. But Kawa mentioned certain things that a man needs versus that of the woman.
Yeah.
He mentioned that sex points. I know he said man needs admiration, physical attraction, sexual, domestic support.
Yeah.
The last one, I didn't get it.
Sex, eh?
Yeah, I didn't get the last one. He said admiration, physical attraction, sexually, domestic support. Hello?
Hold on, he's mentioning it again. Okay.
Men need admiration, physical attractiveness, recreational companionship, sexual fulfillment, and domestic support.
Radio is on loudspeaker and everybody's monitoring. Really enjoying it. Thank you very much.
Thanks very, very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Kawa, please go over it for him because when he was talking, he was also talking, so I'm not sure he heard it.
I said men need admiration for the woman to once a while. Usually, women think there are those who need it. They need affection.
Okay.
But the man also wants once a while. When she did, the woman should also admire you. You look, and then the who I feel, Zumoka Saka, I Shema.
Are you a child?
Physical attract. You know, men, we don't grow. That's why from birth.
Who grows?
No funny and no salad.
You don't grow, so who grows?
Physical attractiveness. Men admire the physical appearance of a woman. So that's why when a woman, the way you were dating and you were appealing to the man, when you come into the marriage, don't start wearing that one cloth agbakena chinchin man gande yenka busuru kom. You see a woman or sorry an open now when you are no the abeda. So that attractiveness is not there for a woman and a man when it comes to sex. Recreational companionship. You see, women must also love things that the men love, especially when it comes to football and those kind of things that have some kind of recreation attached to it, outdoor games and those kind of things. So that's what I mean by the recreational companionship. Then sex. After the sex, there is even good for the health of the man. Oh.
Okay, let me
it's good. Sure. Prostate cancer way now.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Mama.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, oh.
This is Alaji Chamu Yakubu, old soldier, calling from Yapi,
Okay.
the soon-to-be Garden City of the North.
Hey, Garden City, the old Japan. Okay, also, you're welcome. Let's hear you.
Mana, Mama na.
Mama, nah,
Hmm.
Also,
Yeah, ma.
also, yeah, good evening.
Yeah, ma fire. And yeah, mama, mama, yeah, na, AKB, referee, yeah, baby, I would whenever dependent in the Bema. I'm a more score. My AKB, my penalty, then share manu.
Hey, and
Because, you know,
okay.
on a more serious note, in fact, we've been enjoying the program like my senior caller mentioned. It is streamlining some of our wrong marriages or marriages that we are entangled with problems. Especially if you monitor or you follow this program, you did for the past, by now there you should have been reaching somewhere, and you feel comfortable in your marriage.
Okay.
Like my senior man and woman have already mentioned.
Okay.
It looks like we are getting it out of this religious matters, tradition, and all. You see, we don't go. We've left them now. We've taken to certain functions. Yes, sir, we still have the elderly. We have the religious leaders. What are they also doing? Like merging or coming together to get these things more consolidated or sophisticated, so that both our churches and then mosques then will be being educated apart from this program that we hear. That is why I always say that when you monitor this last 360, the following day, let your children be aware. Okay. Let your wives be aware. Or let your wife be aware. Mention it out so that it will spread. It will help us a lot. A lot of constraints, a lot of things that we are lacking because we don't know. And out of knowledge, look at what happens. So we should now sit up. Uncle Kawawa has listed some vision. Like some of us will request for it. If he sends it to us, we'll also make sure that we send it out. Okay. And when we pick reading and getting closer to them, at least someone who was not even interested in marriage will now be attracted to get into marriage. Okay. So that is all I want to say.
Thank you, Alaji. Thank you also, Jack.
Thank you very, very much for this program.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alice. Old soldier.
I think we should do a fan page.
Yeah.
When the weekends.
Yes. Hey, also you. Also, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, quickly, say time. And also,
I think Honorable Kramo summarized what I was just going to say. The marriage has now become of competition than a vocation. And marriage should be vocation. And vocation means you should work on your marriage. You should work on it just like you work on your career. So it's not for nothing that in the Catholic Church is one of the vocations of the church. And people will read everything than what is on marriage. Even your car, your phone, there's a menu for it. But you try not to read anything about marriage. I was shocked last week, or is it 3 days ago, on social media when this guy, he's one of the guys I like, Makashiu, was saying he used how many billion CDs for his marriage. And you see that he has already gotten the philosophy of marriage wrong. What does putting marriage, what are the bragging rights about the money, about impacting? So you see that the next time somebody is trying to outshine Makashiu. So I hope very soon Gadam, I don't know whether he's married. He's married. If not, so because they are in that game, he also come and now say, I use 3 billion or is it 3 billion for my marriage? So that competition is what we are getting wrong instead of seeing marriage as a vocation.
So
my good friend Karabo
said, this is where we say that we prepare for the occasion. But not the marriage itself.
For the marriage itself.
So there's no wonder that marriages keep breaking.
What
Now
I
and
was
then.
expecting
They'll do
to
lavish
with this occasion,
and
you raise the expectation of the woman.
Yeah, that is it.
You see, AKB women.
Please, reduce the volume of your set and let me pick you. Hello?
Hello, Mama. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
What I want to say,
Namia Dumon Pache Frozen.
but I very keke. Every couple.
Capo here, okay. Cake and Pache, it's you.
I know, but the Casam person can say. And now I didn't answer question. Be up as all as I competition one while be up. So you're quite jealous to say because first, you know, in a long time, and son, I will be worried about crown. Who could feel who will be a phone crown. Almost a bit fear the whole. Everybody should be dear once and you say, fear calling me. Yes, nothing yet, or nothing I didn't know. Such as or balance or your papa, not when your papa. Yes, I didn't know you and son about cover you. So, no, so banner or one a day and nothing. But you see, now I didn't quite a competition. Will be a wadi, and will be to the channel they acquire wedding. You need 2-3 months now. I let go because Casam I did. Then man call Banuka, it then a Jumasam Kanye, and no cofano. We now know about who was in a situation hard critical. If you pasana, the beer problem with you. The meaning catcher and let young boys and girls no more banse. And son, I'll go into marriage. Also, some women now for say, because problem I have to see now, Casam no more be Cassian Yawarin on Obano Cofano, don't know, but we could buy problem, Sikasam, because so what or bar. Them are responsibilities there. Say, Una was school fees, Una who had died, Una who took our one son or bad your own responsibilities there. Who will refuse. I say, a bushing them. Them are the Akoya Jumba, I never have Bushano. But about to get there, who will refuse. But and then, I say, man, to me, can say, a support. Them are the overall bar or so ban a support too. Yes, it be beyond that they must. It doesn't see and our year what is yan. Never be brave, man, say, I've been doing it too much. And it's because someone who want it. So, I think you're doing it, and Mamma be brave, man, because pressure, if you name on Kwan and risky, anyway, and it's oh, hey, nothing is because of me. But no one's a guy. Now I deny a bassa, and something about a no cry bassa. You didn't put to my young boys and girls and say, and son of a call, you know, so we finances. So, go well, you know, Sika and I did be a war son of wherever. Yes, another would be Catholic I could have a ma. Now was here, our any
Made us a papa of a cake in a mood. Man is a man of your mind.
Debut.
Man is a man of my day.
I, Mammy Tibiasi.
Nipanoko,
Meet me, baby. Was a woman, one who be in between. A treasure dear son or Jenny Mani Pediana,
and a sunny pediana.
and now, baby, I'm a conwas have a abbot so to the moody and yes, and go yes.
Okay, yes, of a cake, and I bems a band in me calls me.
So once and I will be here. What's I be a demand?
So, let's look at the expectations, okay, of men, of women. And then let's look at what the realities are. Okay. And then where to draw the line between these two. Now, Bremwe.
Say what did you no expectation never men first.
Ladies first.
You people went to Beijing, we went to Tokyo. So
listen. So
the gentleman, so
yes, you have to be. You are the example. Please learn from him. He's a gentleman. No, so the expectation of the modern girl now has to do with the fact that she feels entitled because she thinks she likes to, she will butter trade beauty with wisdom. She butter trades character with sex. She butter trades her presence, you know, like availability in terms of her sense of commitment with benefits. And so when when all these expectations are not met, she then feels embittered. And rather than sit back to do an assessment, she doesn't do. The current era we find ourselves in is an era where you can't, even when the man has it all, the economic factors prevent the man to consistently provide for you. Life prevents the man to consistently provide for you because history has taught us that anything can happen at any time. The Access Bank man that died, imagine a grandfather fighting his grandchild over the son's property. It doesn't make sense. So imagine if the family did not go along and the wife was there. You can imagine what their life is going to be like. So when the unknown, we guard against the unknown, not the known. So the question now is, what you know, is it flawed or is the right thing? Reality. To be a wife, you need temperance. You need to understand that the world is not just about you. You're not the only woman out there. Makeup has taught us that now there's no ugly man or ugly woman. Oh yeah.
Ugly. The men don't do makeup. So
Hey, they do. Hey, nyabutre.
say
You don't know pink lips. Relax. Hey, levels day. Levels day, madam. Levels day.
yeah, some
Now, we've evolved to a point where there's nothing like an ugly woman.
okay.
You just need a right stylist. And you need a right, makeup person and everything. That means that you're not the only person on earth. So every man, whether half man, quarter man, incomplete, once it's a man, they want something that is unique to them.
Okay.
So then, what is your unique preposition? It's not your breast. It's not your buttocks. These days, science has told us we can buy those ones.
Stop.
Thank you. So then, it is you. So who are you? You need to be able to answer that question before you decide that I want to be somebody's wife.
Okay.
Because half of the time, there are fights that you go through, even your dating process. When you sit back, you're like, Mikra, what was I thinking when I do this? Our subconsciousness will feed into reactions that we can't even trace its history because we don't have a sense of self. You get it? Our self-identity is so distorted. Today we are this, the next day we are that, another day we are that. 2, you need focus, a sense of purpose and a direction. Brofo, oratory, display, and eloquency does not depict excellence in a woman. But a woman that knows how to speak properly, she's able to do, her emotional intelligence influences her language. You know where you are standing, you know who you are talking to. There's times where you have to bend your tongue. It isn't because you don't have the right to speak, but to protect what you have. Because there's always a place to solve a problem. You don't need to be heard all the time. It's you understanding that this situation demands my silence. Yeah. There's a time when you raise your body, everybody goes like, we beg. And there's a time where your silence will eat the person even more than you shaking up. 3, they must understand that marriage is work.
Marriage is work.
You are fed up with your parents at home. Imagine the one that you said till death do us part. Who will change at the wind? I always give this example. My friend was trying to get money from the husband. I went and lied that she was pregnant.
Hey.
And chose the most expensive hospital in Tamale to go to.
Wow.
When he got there, the husband now told her the truth. That, hey, our finances, this is our reality. We've been living on loan for the past 6 months. And she said, but you didn't tell me. And so because of that, go for an abortion. She couldn't believe if
That the husband
would suggest abortion. This thing that I'm saying nicely nearly broke the marriage.
Of course. Well.
The fact said, and for her, it was the fact that she's a wedded wife.
Hey.
I said, sir, wedded wife. I remembered this guy. that girl that Brobe and then the other one, the younger one, I've forgotten his name, the black guy. They did a movie where the girl kept shouting, "I am your wedded wife." He said,
Emilia Brobe.
Emilia Brobe, and then the other one, he used to, when he started movie, it was just his head and his body.
Oh.
Billy Asamoah.
Bill.
Yes. And he said, they did a movie like that. She was like, "I am your wedded wife." He said, "Chew the ring." Give the wedded wife. And left her at home. She couldn't believe that, meaning that circumstances happen. There will be so much your husband might not be telling you. 4, you must learn to communicate. We don't know proper communication. We don't talk anymore. These days we text more. We Snapchat more. We Facebook more. We WhatsApp more. We don't talk to each other. How safe and secure are you for your man to come to you and everything that he shares with you will not end up with the next person?
Yeah.
How secured are you for your man to trust that your emotions are calm and you listen to him with an open mind? Where, before he started, there's one girl in my office. Which girl is that? You jump as if the world is chasing you. He has not finished the sentence. He won't continue. Because you're not prepared to listen. You're not prepared to like have a real conversation. These are skills that should be embedded in you right from childhood. So if it is not there, you learn it. Managing the home. See, cooking, cleaning for yourself is not hard work. Your ability to run your family before you create your own. The one you came and met. Before you create your own is not. Imagine giving birth to a special needs child. That means if you don't have money. When my boy was small, we went to a uncle. We had to go and look for the doctor that took care of me when I was a child. And we got there. This man said, "Oh, his problem is like yours. This is the remedy." We bought all the medicine, didn't work. This man just gave us vitamin C and ORS. In fact, when the boy got well, the way I beat him to compensate for my misery. No. After roaming in all the hospitals, it was ORS and vitamin C
that saved him.
They had to put him on diet. We had to burn all his teddy bears. We had to remove fur from the room. So I had to. So imagine if I was Ghana's Kim Kardashian. It means all the money I've spent, I had to burn all of them. I had to clean. I was cleaning my room every 2 weeks. Anything that smells like dust had to be kept away from him. So imagine I didn't like the kitchen. Who will be cooking? Will my son even be alive today? Who will be cooking for my child? Like, who will be feeding him? How were we going to manage all those experiences? So managing the home is for the future. It's for yourself. What is better than cooking your own food? Nobody is stopping you from the expensive lifestyle. But it's better to know and choose not to do than to not know at all. And last but not the least, we all believe in a supreme being. Find one. Understand what it says about marriage, about family, and then allow that to guide you. Once you are positioned in all these 6 things, it means you are ready to now have the real conversation with the man. But you said that when I was listening, I didn't add money.
Yeah.
Because when you have all these things, you shouldn't be complaining about money. A well-cultured girl will not be worried that her income is 2,000. Because her border is not based on superficial things. But someone that's earning 5,000 and still can't say 500. You know,
when you mentioned that marriage is work,
it is.
Saturday I met one of these young ladies who are married, and me who not chepa Saturday na me who ose ma ntino say aware na din say na mo kan kura nchire ma me say no kura ba na na
person
mama no look so
lovely and easy,
and even cry chest and kola no cry e wo mu cry de ene na chest asem no cry say Nana mama looking so effortless. Hey, man, I'm saying, take my number from me. Why? Ain't me most.
Somebody with one
You
child.
should let your marriage work, oh, madam. Kita nkola mienu baku inside yet to around. I'm saying, right? Hey, this marriage will work, oh. Call me, why?
It must work.
It must work.
Oh yes.
Yes.
It must work.
Somebody was.
Call me. You think marriage is so who bema bema no wo fe me drum me no. Now we wuremu. Now we bio na no starting work. I said that's all about marriage.
I was having a conversation about someone wooing me with my mom. And my mom was like, he's at 1, you are at 10. So let's try and get him to 5. I said, you are who? She just looked at me and said, it's you. I think the young woman, because she's not being made whole
you don't
as a
know
woman.
what the realities are.
No.
The expectations, the superficial things, no, and also too much.
That's the
and
issue.
from this lady, from her appearance, I could see that the marriage is taking a
No,
lot of toll
no.
on her.
The way
I
she
don't know whether because of the pregnancy, so
No, she has already
Most-
given up.
most of them,
let them know and say they were mean no. Any send me, I saw said no. This
There's
thing was
something
taking
wrong.
a toll on her.
Oh, a lot of them, you
I saw
meet
it.
them and they're actually
saw
looking
it.
older
Yeah.
than you yourself.
Yeah.
And you are like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
ebeko yeni.
And one no can. Mami Kawawa. Mami bra ho
You see,
quickly.
that's the analysis we've just given, and I like the way. Is it Papa JK?
No, Papa JK didn't.
So-
KK. Of a KK.
Of a KK ended it. AKB, how do we marry these days? Even the dating process, I'm just having an issue with a woman who the man doesn't just take care of her, take care of the children, 3 children. And the woman has now packed out. And when the woman last week was narrating her ordeals to me, it was very pathetic. To the extent that the man even was searching ways and means to destroy her financial powers.
Okay.
Because she thinks it's because the woman was rich that the woman was not respecting him.
Okay.
But from all indication, as a man, I realized that the man was at fault. Then AKB, the investigation also about what he said when we are marrying. This lady just said he courted and dated them. He dated and courted the man for only 3 months. And they married. That's the question I asked. How long did you date? Did you know the man very well? And said no, they dated and courted for only 3 months. Sometimes 3 months is not. It's just not sometimes. It's just not enough.
Enough, okay.
Averagely, we advise that it should be about 6 to 1 year.
Okay.
Maximum 3 years. When you date for long too, it's also a red flag.
Oh, no.
And AKB, when we are even dating or we are dating, what do we look out for?
Are you?
And even when we go out, what do we talk of? We are just talking about how to prepare the wedding for the wedding,
I'm
the
telling
wedding
you.
gown, the hotel we are going to have our wedding, the food, the caterer. These are the only things that we are discussing. Even to talk about when do we start giving birth after wedding or the marriage. None. How many
Financial
children?
management.
Financial management. We don't talk of it. So we've lost focus of even the essentials of wedding. Now it comes to the family. Even the family you are going to marry into.
Yeah.
How do you know that family? As Papa JK said, those days we were
Of a
KK. We were even looking out for health issues before you marry. Leprosy, was it in the family? Mental health issues. You look out for it before you enter. Childbirth.
Yeah.
Some families are having those issues. So these are so, you see, when even you see it, you now prepare for it. Let's say you assume that you love the woman, but their family, reading the family background, you've realized that giving birth is an
It's a
issue.
problem.
I know of a family in my area, the woman gave birth to 1, the sister gave birth to only 1. The guy has gotten up now, the guy is about 50 years old, also giving birth to 1. After that, child is not coming. So you can see that they have.
If you're going into that family,
You should know that you have the Black Star One Gold project.
Or nothing.
One Gold project. So AKB, even when you come across it, you are not shocked. Obi Becca said you are not shocked price.
Shock price.
So we don't do all this investigation and we go into it. Now AKB, this is the reality of the woman. Men.
We think I love him.
I love him is
enough.
the end. And this is where the men get the shock. AKB, investing in the woman doesn't mean that you get the woman's love forever and ever.
Nope.
A man, you are not a poverty alleviation program for a woman during dating.
No, I totally agree.
You are not a poverty alleviation program for the woman.
That.
Look, women have feelings that changes. So at any point, you, the man, must meet her at certain point. So when you are poor, don't think that because you were rich years back, the woman should still stand on that feelings. Her feeling will change. This is the reality of women. AKB, look, you can buy a Benz latest car for a woman, and the Benz car will get puncture and a vulcanizer, because at that time her feeling was just how to move out of danger.
It's not all of us.
I'm coming. When they come to mend the tie, at that point the feeling of the woman will change. I know somebody who bought an iPhone for a woman. This woman used it. She just went to a shop and one guy gave him an iPhone cover. That was the end of the love. The beginning. That was the beginning of their love story. That was the big iPhone cover. You already, women. Let me say first, sometimes they behave like delegates.
Foolish
That's why I say I prepare. They behave like delegates.
Foolish women. Emphasis.
No. Some of them. Let me tell you the truth of women. No, let me land. Let me leave that place. But the fact is that women must first understand the psychology of women.
Of women or men?
No, women must understand the psychology of women.
Must understand
and I'm now landing with what men should also, and women should understand about the man.
Okay.
Beginning,
and the realities, the expectations. Yes.
The fact is that, look, for you to get your marriage right, you have to respect your husband.
Okay. So
there is no man, and research has shown it globally, even Indians who marry their husband. It's the woman who marries the man. The polyandry. But still, that issue of respect is there. They still give respect. And that's why the Indians and the Filipinos, their marriages are one of the most successful marriages in the world. And it is believed that the women adore the men. They worship them. So that one, the man is ego-driven. 2, don't compromise with sex. Using sex as a weapon against your husband. Look, the man can easily go out to...
Go and get HIV. Go.
Yes, and he will come and infect you because you cause... And AKB, look, sometimes it's not that the men moving out is just for sex. I remembered some months ago, I was moving around this Agric bank. Then I saw a friend of mine sitting. I just sped off and then he called me. Then I saw him sitting down. I turned and he was there. I was shocked. So then I came and I said, Abochi, at this hour, what are you doing here? That the wife accused him of something yesterday. He went out and he didn't do. So today he had just decided to come out so that it will confirm what he went out to do. So he's just sitting there to go back late so that what can come. So that the way the wife confronted him, it was very annoying. As you said, sometimes even the phone call and the woman will now be jittery. Yeah. Sometimes the way we approach it, the social intelligence, SQ, is very, very important. Sometimes we only emphasize on the IQ. So respect sex. Any man wants a woman who has purpose in your life. Yeah. You should be very purposeful. So that's why I say you should also come to the marriage with something on the table. Don't just come with when sakwatasa come to the man marries you to the house. So you should have some speciality. That's why you see in the Bible, anytime it's talking about the woman, that for that matter, a man will leave the house and click to what? To the wife.
Yes.
He didn't use a woman, a lady, wife. So we marry wives. We don't marry ladies. Look, AKB, when you don't marry a wife,
You marry the lady and she becomes a wife.
no. You see,
They
women
don't
come
have the
into
patience.
the.
Meanwhile, we
women-
marry boys and manage
That's
them
it.
to be men.
And that's why even the Bible and God said, therefore the man. And it didn't say
So
and
you
the
have
wife
to
and
be
cling to the
complete,
wife.
to go and pick the other
see?
complete one.
I'm talking about because AKB, when a man makes a mistake in the house, it's not as deadly as a woman.
Hey.
You can imagine a woman who cannot take care of a child, a baby. You cannot say me, I've never given birth, so I don't know how. Immediately you give birth, you are a wife, you are a mother. So once you go into the family, you are already a mother.
When I gave birth, my mother was like, "Hey,
You see,
who behaved to so be a wow
what
10?
the three?
Wow 10."
Because
that's my first child.
if you joke in the bathroom, we've heard of women who drop their babies in the bathroom, drop them in water,
in the
It's a
basin.
baby sink or is it
In
the
the
baby?
basin,
Because
yeah.
how to even handle them is a problem. So you have to marry a wife, very purposeful. You can marry a lady who cannot cook.
That is why usually our mothers come to help us.
So when you are
give
even
birth.
coming to, you should be a good cook. As a woman, you should be a good cook. That's why we prepare them as wives, even before they come into the marriage.
So are
That's
these-
why
are
the
these-
Bible make
are
references
these
to
your
them.
expectations or they are the realities? you are-
That's global expectation, not even mine. And these are the realities. And what I expect every woman.
You see,
And these are global research I'm
I know,
speaking of.
if you
And
can't
I'm
see the
speaking,
interject
and
me, I
I'm
don't want
talking
to interject
the
me.
mind of every man in Tamale and beyond.
It's
This is
Tamale.
what and beyond.
They should continue.
Can you imagine you marry a
and
woman who
we
cannot
have
cook?
realized
It can be the
that-
woman who come and poison you in the house.
Sir?
That
Look, currently, somewhere last week I was talking to one of my friends and he said, look, that the landlord, the wife cannot even cook. So always the landlord buys food outside the camp. So he complained to the landlord that
And the landlord too cannot cook.
that's the issue.
Exactly.
Because we marry
So
wives.
because there are
AKB.
some who
so that we'll
marry
be cooking
and
always.
then they train
Even
them,
that is
okay,
the question.
to be very good
So
cooks
let me
and
land.
The best chefs
He
in the
had a
world are
good
men.
he had a good landlord. So that he told the landlord, why are you always buying food? But you have a wife. They said, my wife doesn't know how to cook. That's my problem. It's not that I like the buying. So the guy who's a tenant in the house said, the landlord, you bring your wife. From henceforth, I'll be training the woman how to cook.
Okay.
And the man accepted it.
Okay.
And that now the woman is doing good and the man is now eating in the house.
food.
Good
That's
food. So we the men can also give suggestion to that
You can't
aspect.
cook.
If for me to be cooking always for the woman to be after that department, we cannot compromise
That
it
is
as
you.
men. Occasionally the man will cook. I do
Which
it. I know
nationally?
men who cook occasionally.
So I'm.
But that is
so
not
I'm
my
sick.
department.
I can't work.
That
We
one
can't
the man will
afford-
come in. No.
We can't
Listen to
afford
what
a
I'm saying.
housekeeper.
No, that was a housekeeper. Don't even bring that chemistry
I
there.
can't.
You are increasing the family budget.
Ayaka.
And how no woman
Exactly
should look.
my point.
AKB, from my perspective as a man, I don't think even women should encourage that. Unless the work
Encourage
is
the man,
unless the
the
work
man
is
going to the kitchen.
no, the housekeeper and those
okay,
unless the work in the house is overwhelmingly or very overwhelming
Please,
or
when
so.
you need help, get one.
Get one from where?
There's
And that's where it will destroy the marriage.
Obviously,
Because at the
and
point, the
obviously,
housekeeper will be
said,
doing almost
They
everything.
say free SHS in tea. It's even difficult to get.
Together, you don't even
But
get.
Akolabi Eko-
Akolabi Eko school. Okay, why should you leave it? The housekeeper is cooking.
But-
Some
but-
people,
but-
the housekeeper is
but-
laying the
but-
bed.
But you're here
Kawawa.
telling me
Kawawa.
that
Kawawa.
you won't cook.
I'm not saying I will not.
Kawawa.
Now you are getting me wrong.
Kawawa.
I said the woman
Kawawa.
was constantly.
Articulate it properly.
Me now, I wash my things. So.
Kawawa.
I know men who wash their who
Yes,
do their
some
washing.
do.
I know
But-
men who are doing
Kawawa.
washing.
One of my
Because until
criteria
my
for
children
accepting
grew
a man
up-
is one that can take care of himself.
Yes.
So that when
That-
I'm not at home,
that-
I will
that
not
truth.
come back and be doing my
So we are not talking.
Which
So
one?
we are not
But you're
talking.
not mentioning
Of
it.
the
You have to
When you
tell
are
them.
not there, but when you are there, that
No,
department
but you
is
should
yours.
know how to take care of yourself so that we don't fight over that.
No, that's why we are all on the same
When I come
frequency.
to work,
We are on
and I
89.3.
by the time I get home,
Yes.
he's already taking care of
Yes.
himself.
Exactly.
So if I go and cook it for myself,
Exactly.
if you call him, should I prepare this? I said, no, me, I've already taken care of myself.
Yes. It's just like I support
and-
you.
Peace in your home.
And
Okay.
he has no problem
Doing that.
entering the kitchen.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
The men are doing it, but the problem.
There's
And
no problem.
men are
There's no
prepared to
problem.
do it.
the problem
It's
is
your
you
mindset.
men, your mindset where
That's
you
all.
think.
No,
yes,
it's not a mindset.
I'm coming.
AKB, it's not a mindset.
Some women will do that.
AKB,
but
I don't want.
all the
It's
women.
not all the
But-
women.
But the men sit and think that, hey, me,
It's
yeah.
one- then you eat. Be there.
Hey, Mimi,
No,
duty.
some
So
of them.
before you met me, how were you
AKB, some they've done it before. And the
so
woman
yes.
has taken them for granted
Exactly.
or think that
So
is
we
their
look at
responsibility.
those who have taken them for granted,
Thank
and then
you.
they generalize things. Hey, oh yeah. Obeka say, well,
Yes, that's
Yes.
one. Yeah. I agree. There are some men who have not done it.
So
and they
I'm
have the
saying
perception
because
as
of
we
what
are
they
that
going,
you
have
ahead
been
when you
generalized
do that one
exactly.
is they've generalized it.
But you've not tried
Tried
to
it.
see if the woman,
woman
will
yes.
do that or not.
You are seeing that your wife is
understand?
exhausted. You are seeing that your wife is stressed out. What is wrong in assisting her? Because you think it makes you less a man because you want
No,
to
that's
use
one
it.
there. It's just like the man you said. You talk of the scenario of, or is it AKB that the man is not working, the woman goes to that
yes,
one. Then the man is a disgrace to manhood.
We
Or you
But you are sitting here. You are saying it's
he has
non-negotiable.
lost his job. And that's a bia no ebia we're losing his
AKB.
job. Onyanya afoforo.
Yes, once you've lost your
When
job,
you soon
and
the
you are
job,
always in the
Kurana.
house. But AKB, with that self, it shouldn't be a continuous process. At least one weekend, the woman show love, just cook and package the food for the woman, for the man, and say this. I'm going to work on Monday. This one
AKB,
you keep
the most
it. But
painful
no.
men,
If there
the
is
most
love,
painful
AKB, the
men
issue is
to
that
date
there's no
are
love.
broke men.
Eh?
Look, I don't know anyone that dated the most painful men to date are broke men. The way they have nonsense. No, AKB, I know what I'm saying. I've seen plenty.
No, the
And they
person.
seem insecure.
No, AKB, the
telling
thing
you.
is that his ego is
They
already
begin-
damaged.
they begin
ego
to
is
now-
damaged.
The ego is
They are
damaged.
insecure.
They are insecure. So that is
So they start projecting
Pretend
their
their
inadequacies
ego-
on you, and they will make your life mislook.
That's why you should understand
There
the
was one
psychology
that
of the man
was
too.
so committed to the guy. I was like, why don't you have options? Which kind of nonsense is this?
hey.
Oh no, like me, I won't take that. There's a point I get to. I want to understand whether okay, you are just angry for today, but when I realize that
It's
it's
persistent.
intentional and it's a toxic narcissistic nature,
Ayaka.
oh yeah, keep yourself. Make her keep myself. Nobody will
So,
die.
Let me read this message from Captain and then
Hey, where is
we'll wrap
Captain
up.
in his bunker?
Captain
Tell
is-
him I've called him
Captain
several.
is
He
in his
didn't pick.
bunker.
I WhatsApp.
Captain
He said
is
I've
in
even
bunker,
WhatsApp him. He
yes.
didn't respond.
He says, good evening, AKB. I am having a little challenge calling into the program, but permit me with my submission. I strongly emphasize the need for Ghanaian youth to set up their game or to step up their game in relationships and marriages by blending modern trends with the best of our traditions.
Thank you.
Modern tools like technology
Yes.
and social media offer opportunities for better communication and emotional connection, but we must use them wisely, avoiding superficiality.
Thank you.
At the same time, at the same time, we should preserve timeless values such as family involvement,
Thank you.
respect for elders,
Yep.
and communal support, which strengthen commitment and accountability. However, outdated practices like restrictive gender roles, excessive dowries, and societal pressures must be reconsidered to promote equality and personal fulfillment. It's been a beautiful evening listening to the discussion, but I am wondering how these two talkatives were put together.
Captain,
Captain,
like how? What did we do?
the talkative is here.
Look at this
Yeah.
man.
And he goes on to say, Kawawa, the women are trying to ambush you in the studio. Sending my men out there for your rescue.
Amen.
Can you imagine, Captain?
AKB, don't let me
we
forget.
end
I
the
wanted
day?
to say something first that I was blocking now about modernity and technology.
Okay.
AKB, to be frank, this should have even facilitated marriages and relationships
Yes.
to make it very simple
Yes.
and lovely.
Yes.
Now, instead of maybe making fire, that men had a problem with, the gas cooker is there, the
Thank
electric
you.
cooker is there.
Exactly.
That
Rice
even makes it
cooker
romantic.
and all
Instead
the-
of rice
When you
cooker
have now,
is there,
okosa bidie, egu
bidie,
cookpot, one
the
man
washing
side
now,
to-
if you have money,
washing machine.
and washing machines are there. So to be frank, I said it last week that this generation do not have a cause or to complain
No,
about issues
no,
of marriage.
no.
It's just that we get it wrong at the beginning.
That's true.
During dating, we don't look at the red flags. We just look at the
Yeah.
fanciful wedding
Yeah.
and this. So to me, technology has even made marriage very simple. Those days you will be missing your wife or girlfriend,
And how to
boyfriend,
call
and how to call
is
is
a
a
problem.
problem.
Now we
This
now use the phone
Zoom
to block them.
block them. And as somebody said, that technology or phone has brought those farther nearer, and those nearer, it has made a distance between far. So modernity, to be frank, is not the challenge for marriages and relationships.
So
It's just our
We
mindset.
need the balance.
We need the balance. We need the tools of modernity to combine them as Captain said with
Yeah.
our tradition and values and cultures. Then now we blend it with our own mindset and values. And if we have respect for each other and the issue of love is there, I don't think we should have problem with issues of marriage and relationship.
Okay.
Because to me, the best form of vocation, AKB till date, is the marital vocation if you get it right. The best form of vocation. And I said it last week and I'll repeat it.
Last 2 weeks.
The last 2 weeks, the fastest way to hell is to marry wrong. And the fastest way to heaven
Is to
is to
marry
marry right.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
And so now, lastly,
Ola, final words, no,
no, you are going to say something.
That's what I was going to say. Is that
Yes.
your final words? Yeah.
What happens today? I mentioned it is that Africans, when our children become young adults, we have stopped engaging them. Time now, if you are a young girl, you have gained independence, you live alone. I always advise my young girls, don't move out of the house. Marry from home. Because there's a security that the home provides for you. Like there are things you won't dare do if you are still home. But the moment you get liberty, independence, you have the freedom to misbehave, to do a lot of things wrong. And it will take you to levels, and you also won't submit to any wisdom that will aid you until pain silences you, and then you now either want to build or you continue, you kashekodu like that. African parents need to stop leaving our young adults alone. Your child turned 20. That's all they did. They didn't outgrow you in wisdom. They do not outgrow you in knowledge. They didn't outgrow you in experience. In fact, they have not even outgrown you in mistakes. And believe me, the only thing that has changed, like Awawa said, is that there's mobile phone. But what runs in a human need during your time is still the same one now. Talk to your children. There are parents whose daughters menstruated and they didn't know which date it was. They don't even know how they get sanitary pads. Your 20-year-old child, your male or female, needs you. Both male and female. Look, even if you don't get along with your spouse or your ex-spouse, make the child a priority. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you can brag about your union is not the two of you. It's what that union produced. Even though they will often say, oh, the children are not the priority. If it's the two of you, are you not tired of each other? But those moments together in that tricord as a family is what brings it together. So please, let's stop assuming that social media has come to do our work for us. Let's stop assuming that technology has taken over the job of a counselor. Who is a better counselor than the child? You, the parent. The child that you watch grow. Every phase of their attitude, you have been there. You know what triggered it and all that. Be part of because look, nobody is teaching your daughter that the soup is too salty. Nobody is teaching your son that being a responsible man has nothing to do with how much money you have in your pocket. Nobody is teaching your daughter that sex is not a transactional tool. Nobody is teaching her self-respect. That's your job. So the fact that they come on manone reservation, and even worse if they are bringing in some chicken change, don't lose your right as a parent of other, because please, we are having so many babies in young adults' bodies.
Yeah.
And that's why our future is endangered. Once you get it right in the young adult stage, they now make more informed decisions and better marriage choices.
Okay.
AKB, there was something, just let me, because these gender roles, sometimes the women are those who are complaining a lot. But do you know that it's the women who create the gender roles in the house? Because sometimes you see the children sleeping, the woman wakes up the girls to go and sweep. Why the guy is still asleep? It happens in most
I had a fight
so
with my mom with
so it creates the gender roles. Most of them are created by
it's
still at the
level.
basis, and the
Yeah.
women amplifies it a lot. Growing up, my mother didn't give us that gender role, but I realized that I was very passionate with the kitchen and those things. I know my
So
junior
you have
brother.
that passion and you are disturbing
I know
us.
my junior brother, the only thing he could do was to fry an egg. My senior brother too is also very good at cooking.
Okay.
So we had that opportunity. AKB. And the men, as we said about the technology, if even you didn't get that at your upbringing, now technology has made things easy. I wanted to learn how to do pizza. I just went on social media,
media, yeah.
went and checked the process.
It is
I bought
nice.
It
Cook
is
for your
nice.
family.
Cook for your family. And anytime I
Ah,
cook,
waka
my
papa ba.
daughter will say, Dada, you should open a restaurant, and very soon I'll invite you to my
Hey, dear
restaurant.
Papa.
Yes. So some of them will do. It's just now that. So the men are doing. We are trying.
Which
And
men?
AKB, let me end by the. I said it last week. Look, AKB is the men are appreciating what our women are doing for us.
Yeah.
Maybe when we sit at men, maybe sometimes just that when we tell the women the no mutima say or de no mo say niema bi AKB ye kan ibe ye kan ya na mo say exaggerate ntokwa bia ba na mo de adidi atema ka eguso ntokwa kakra bi. Look, AKB, when we let me be frank, when we sit down at men, we appreciate our women.
So
Gone
are
were
are
the
these-
days
are these
that
not
men
the
will be
perceptions we are
insulting.
talking about?
Yes.
Thank you.
AKB, look, I said it last week.
Obi ayesa, but it doesn't mean it's every woman.
Who is like
does
that. Eh.
So the moment say Obi aka say, oh, my woman did this, doesn't mean that's what every woman
AKB, you
does.
can't conform to mema. No, how many things came into your mouth
Let me end
and
with
you
it.
refuse
Let me
not
talk
to
about
say
that.
it?
Oh, we've been
So
saying
when
it.
men come and say,
AKB, generally,
"Put
men
it on
are
them."
not
We
people
have been
who talk.
sugarcoating it on your
You know, AKB, men are not having the
platform.
platitudes. We sometimes our appreciation can be silenced. The women should. You see, is this? No, AKB, it's these seasonal movies that are spoiling the European
they say
movies. This
you
thing that are destroying our African women. They knew how men used to appreciate them.
With what?
Sometimes even good sex in the night is appreciation.
imagine?
The man will not talk.
Appreciating and
Sometimes
With sex?
hugging or touching you
How?
is an appreciating.
Hey!
Sometimes you go out and you come, and the man has done something he used not to do. That are all part of the appreciation.
Yeah.
Look, AKB, I said it last week, and I want.
appreciation.
Yes, you
both
shouldn't
ways.
think
We
that
also have to
appreciation
appreciate-
is just about
the
gifts.
women have
It's
to
just
appreciate
about
When a
just
woman
talking.
enjoys
it. Will have
sex,
to-
when a woman enjoys sex, she wakes up in the morning with a smile.
Yes.
Your food
So
is
the,
well
the
prepared.
smile is the appreciation.
No, I'm coming. Your
You know how
food
it's
is well
difficult to
prepared.
give a woman an orgasm, especially African woman, and we are doing it. African woman with
Hey.
orgasm. So
Yes, guys.
when the orgasm
Hey,
about
if you don't know how to make me happy.
It's 10:31. We did one.
It's difficult to
And
give
then now we will not close. Trust me, it's been a wonderful discussion tonight on the show Love 360. I know you have enjoyed our discussion. Trust me, it's good. We brought both perspectives on board. We took only the men, we took only the women, and today we bring both. And who said Nadia on the Bameshia say fire. A master like a cook a crab Nadia a fire. So I can even understand why a producer a ye nasa na bra. And unfortunately for Kawawa, no himself, Obenya supporter. And Oba is you not the other day. I just go. But trust me, as we said, the expectations are there, but you have got to be real. The realities are also there. So you need to find the balance between the two. Yes, all the expectations are ube real, and then you come out again. You enter into the marriage and then you come out again, because you will not, those expectations now or expecting, no, you will not get it. You will not get it. So as you are expectant or you have your own expectations, you should know what the realities are. And mostly when you also enter into the marriage, that is when you know the realities.
The department, they are failing us a lot at the church level. The church counselors, especially this lady you are talking of. I believe her counseling process there was a deficit there. I think we should also advise. You see, there was for mommy or for counsel. We should stop it. Counseling is a whole department.
I'm telling you.
AKB, the expectation of the youth this time in marriage is different from the counseling we are going through or they get at the church level. So I'm just pleading to the imams, the pastors. Your wife is not a counselor.
Thank you.
Your wife is not a counselor.
They should get
professional counselors for our
within
young guys.
the church
This is the time we
to do
need
that.
serious counseling, premarital counseling, and especially postmarital.
Yes.
The postmarital is
counseling
very, very important.
That's the issue.
And
It's like the moment say our no call I do any amount certificate. It's what the certificate is what pass here.
If you are going to buy a car and you are going for driving school, you are searching for a professional to teach you how to drive, and you are going into marriage. And you no go for a marital counseling or seminar or marital school or to get a professional to take care of you. Yes. That's the issue.
The worst part is how they try recovery, where one person goes to read the book and wants to come and enforce it on the other. And we could see a program be forgetting that it should have been the two of you going together, to address. Sometimes, but me, I've come to believe, AKB, that you see, this generation are not curious about family life. They are more curious about making money.
Okay.
So until we make sex.
Yes. So until we make the conversation more appealing, we will not be able to have these discussions properly.
Okay.
Very,
very much. So we've been looking at navigating modern love and relationships, a balanced perspective. And I believe that we've had that balanced perspective. So thanks so much for doing the listening. We took a lot of your time today, but not discussion. Not I didn't. I mean, say technicians no crane be. But all the same, thanks so much. Those who listened, those who watched on Facebook, especially those who called into the show, we appreciate you so much. Captain from your banker, you contributed as well, and we appreciate it. So I've been in the studio with Leatrice Na Kwale Richardson, counselor, business and life coach, and then Rashid Suleimana Kawawa, tutor, researcher, entrepreneur, and business coach as well. Thanks to my producer Sami Ejay for being there all the time for me. Thank you very, very, very much. And also thanks to Janet Jane Art Village for the support. Thanks to Kumsen Matthew for the Facebook Live. And then our technician on duty has been Seth Abraham. My name is Akosia Kwatma Boachi. Tomorrow is Sunday. Remember to go to church, and then it will be fine. I always say the preparation starts on Saturday night. Thanks. God bless you. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Akosia Kwatma Boachi is my name. We are off. Bye-bye.